he has time. And as he mentioned before, it was a very lengthy email, but in the end, in my wildest dreams, I would not have expected what's been put on today. And he's picked me up at the airport, and I walked straight past him because I was looking. When I was young, he was taller than me. So I'm looking at him, and he's taken us around and shown us the sites. We're heading to a mosque today as well. We've seen a lot of the city that normally would take us 2 or 3 days.
Jonas Towers.
You've got Jonas Towers. Special. His best friend, the president, of course, opened the gates. And as well, he chauffeured us around. So we've seen a lot in the day and a half that we've been here. We've taken only 24 hours since yesterday. And we leave on Monday. So tomorrow we're going for another little tour. And then we're off to Sabah. And then from Sabah back, we'll be travelling back. So when in 1975 I travelled to Europe, and I met Ursula in Europe, and we got married. We've got 4 children, 4 daughters, of whom 3 are married. The youngest is 27, she's still not married. Razak sort of said he's got a son that's available. So 2 of our girls got married this year. We have 3 grandsons and 1 grandson on the way. One of the daughters that married this year is now with child. So we live in Melbourne now. I've lived in Melbourne for 22 years. I work with Caltex Australia, which was owned by Chevron, but they've sold us this year, so it's just an Australian company now. This is my 40th year there. I have a reasonable job. I travel a lot around Australia, so I get to see a lot. All of our children live in Melbourne as well, so Ursula gets to do a lot of babysitting. The children, the grandsons are 9, 7 and 6. One's birthday tomorrow. Their grandson's birthday tomorrow. Franya's got 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. The eldest daughter and the son are married, and they have 2 grandchildren. 2 grandchildren. Yeah. So her daughters had the two babies, and she lives in Sydney. Franya lives in Hobart with her youngest child, and Renata and Raphael both work and live in Sydney. They've been there for maybe 3 or 4 years. Franya's husband is always a bad part of this, but you can't avoid the truth. Franya's husband left her after 25 years, which was really sad. And she was with us in Sydney. We lived for 3 years in Sydney from 1998 to 2001. And she was with us at Christmas time, and he rang her up and said he's leaving for another week. So it was very sad. It was a very sad time. Adam's married and he had 1 daughter, and he's got 2 grandchildren. Poppy, and the other one is, I can't remember. One of these modern names, I don't know. Apple or something. And Tony moved back. So Tony was the eldest. He was born in 1950. So he's 66 this year. So Tony's sort of in that age group of when you first came down. Some of the first groups, he was sort of at that. Yeah. But Tony and I speak, we didn't speak for about 10 years. Not because we argued or anything. And then he had a daughter. He's married. He was married and had a daughter. He married an Anglican, not a Catholic, so that upset Mum and Dad, and didn't have a wedding. And then they got divorced. He had a baby. They got divorced, and he married another Anglican and didn't have a wedding. And she had 2 children. So he's
still single.
And he had 2 children with his second wife. His first wife is a barrister. His first daughter's a barrister. But think she took after him because she's been married 3 or 4 times to Anglican, Catholic, Jewish, and she went out with, I think she went out with, and now wants to marry an Italian. But I can't see her that much. Yeah. So something, and his daughter, Tony's youngest daughter, suffered from anorexia. So she weighed 27 kilos. Married to a policeman at 26 years and stayed with us for about 8 or 9 weeks. She was in the Melbourne hospital and we kept her there. So after about 10 years of not speaking to Tony, he then came over, he stayed with us and we opened up our home to them and then his daughter went back and we communicated for a couple of years and then the last 2 years we invited him to the wedding and his family, not even a yes or a no, so he's back to his old habitat. So all the time that Tony was, Mum and Dad, when he finished his teaching degree, worked for some time in Burnie, he went to Darwin and spent 10 or 15 years in arts and drama and theatre and going around to the Indigenous people and putting on art shows for them. And he came back to live in Hobart. He went to Poland and lived there for 2 years with Amway. He wanted to try something different in life, but that didn't go any good. And then came back, and when Mama passed away, he missed her by about 2 hours. He knew that she was sick and had a stroke. And he came back and now lives in Hobart full time. So while they were alive, he never lived there, and he's come back again, which is a bit sad. So Dad had a heart attack when he was 74, and died at home, sitting in that front room at 102. It was a sad time for the family and for Mum because he was her life. She sort of did everything around him, as you would have probably seen when you stayed there. And then Mum passed away 2 years later, and on the day she passed away, she was suffering from either dementia or Alzheimer's, and it was a Friday. I remember I think she had a mini stroke at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was with her. Her eyes went all watery, and she sort of felt faint. And I sat her down, and my eldest daughter, who was 10 at the time, made her a cup of tea. And I said to Mum, she was taking these tablets, and I never know how she'd remember to take them 10 times. She was a bit.
Where was this? In Melbourne?
No, this is in her home. In her 102. Ula and I were living with her at the time because we were building a house. So we'd moved in, and she didn't have any students. She was just sort of there in the home. She didn't want to sell. She never wanted to sell the home. She said, "Oh, too many memories," and she wanted to die there. I put her to bed in the afternoon, and as I left home, I said to Ula, just looking at her because she was a bit. And Ula found her, and she'd fallen off the bed. Was talking to her rationally, but she couldn't open her eyes and couldn't see. And she'd had a stroke. Something had burst in her brain. And Ursula and Fran got the ambulance round there, and she went to hospital. And sadly, they turned the life support off on the Saturday at about 7 o'clock.
She was 65.
64, so she was relatively young in that sense. Yeah. So that's about. Well, I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, it's good that you tell
But
us.
What year was that? She died in 91.
She came here in 82, right? Masharif and Zainab. She came here in 82. Was it 82? She came here? Mama's 60?